first! He grabbed me first! I was just defending myself, officer!
That's not true. I have the whole thing on camera.
Wait, what? You have cameras here now?
Everything's right here. She punched me. You'll see for yourself.
Alright, hold it steady for me. Let me take a look.
This woman made the worst mistake of her life when she assaulted her ex-boyfriend and then lied to the police about it. She had no idea that her victim had just installed security cameras days earlier. Her lies were about to be exposed in the most humiliating way possible. Cassidy now faces criminal assault charges, a restraining order that could last years, and potential jail time of up to 6 months. And she's facing over $8,000 in legal fees and fines, all because she refused to accept that the relationship was over.
Trevor had always considered himself a patient person. At 32 years old, he worked as an electrician and lived a quiet life in his modest home on the outskirts of town. When he met Cassidy 2 years ago, she seemed fun and spontaneous. But within months, spontaneous turned into volatile. Cassidy had a temper that could ignite over the smallest things. A wrong word, a misunderstood text, even Trevor coming home late from work could trigger an explosion. She would scream, throw objects, and break anything within reach. His television remote, dinner plates, picture frames. Nothing was safe when she felt slighted. Before we continue, let's connect for a moment. Where in the world are you watching from right now? Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a like. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Trevor tried to be understanding. He made excuses for her behavior, convinced himself she was just passionate. But the violence kept escalating. One night, during an argument about Trevor spending time with his friends, Cassidy grabbed a glass bottle from the kitchen counter and smashed it against his head. The blow split his scalp open. Blood poured down his face as he stumbled backward in shock. Trevor spent 3 days in the hospital, recovering from a concussion and getting stitches. The doctors asked questions. Trevor lied and said he fell. He felt ashamed and confused about what his relationship had become. When he returned home, Cassidy apologized with tears and promises. But Trevor realized something that night in the hospital. He could have died, and if he stayed, she might actually kill him one day.
Trevor made the hardest decision of his life 2 months after the hospital incident. He sat Cassidy down and told her the relationship was over. He tried to be gentle but firm. He explained that the violence had to stop and that he couldn't live in fear anymore. Cassidy didn't take it well. She cried, begged, and promised to change. When tears didn't work, she became angry. She accused Trevor of abandoning her, of being cruel and heartless. She stormed out of his house that day, slamming the door so hard the frame cracked. Trevor thought that would be the end of it. He was wrong. 3 days later, Cassidy showed up at his front door unannounced. She wanted to talk, to work things out, to give their love another chance. Trevor politely but firmly told her no. She left angry. A week later, she came back, then again the following week. Each visit followed the same pattern: pleas, arguments, and threats. Trevor started feeling like a prisoner in his own home. He couldn't predict when Cassidy would appear next. His neighbors began noticing the repeated confrontations in his driveway. Some gave him sympathetic looks, others minded their business. After the 5th unexpected visit, Trevor made a decision. He contacted a security company and had cameras installed around his property. 2 cameras covered the driveway, 1 watched the front door, and another monitored the backyard. The installation happened on November 8th. Trevor hoped he would never need the footage, but something told him to be prepared.
November 11th started like any other Sunday. Trevor spent the morning catching up on household chores and watching football. Around 1 in the afternoon, he heard a car pull into his driveway. His stomach sank. He looked out the window and saw Cassidy's silver sedan parked behind his truck. Trevor took a deep breath and walked outside to meet her. He wanted to handle this at the door before she tried to force her way inside like she had done before. Cassidy was already out of her car, walking toward his front steps with determination in her eyes. She started talking immediately. She wanted him back. She missed him. Things would be different this time. She had been thinking about everything and realized how much she loved him. Trevor stood his ground on the driveway and told her the same thing he had told her every other time. The answer was no. They were done. She needed to move on. Cassidy's expression shifted from pleading to frustrated. Her voice grew louder. She accused him of being cold and unforgiving. She said he never really loved her. She called him selfish for throwing away what they had over one mistake. Trevor remained calm. He told her she needed to leave his property. He reminded her that she had hurt him badly and that he deserved peace. That's when Cassidy snapped. Without warning, she stepped forward and punched Trevor square in the face. The hit caught him off guard. Pain exploded across his cheekbone. Trevor stumbled backwards, shocked by the sudden violence. He steadied himself and immediately pulled out his phone. He dialed the police.
Trevor spoke clearly into the phone while Cassidy stood in his driveway, still furious. He gave the dispatcher his address and explained that his ex-girlfriend had just assaulted him on his property. He stayed on the line until the operator confirmed officers were on their way. The entire time, Cassidy paced back and forth, yelling that he was overreacting and being dramatic. The police arrived within 12 minutes. 2 officers stepped out of their patrol car and approached the scene. Trevor's face was already showing signs of swelling where Cassidy had struck him. One officer, a woman in her 40s, asked what happened. The other officer, a younger man, took out his notepad. Before Trevor could speak, Cassidy jumped in with her version of events. She told the officers that Trevor had called her over to talk. She claimed they were having a civil conversation when he suddenly became aggressive and grabbed her arm violently. She said she only came to his house because he asked her to. She insisted she was the victim and that Trevor was lying to make her look bad. Her performance was convincing. She even managed to produce tears. The officers looked at Trevor with more scrutiny. The female officer asked him to explain his side. Trevor calmly told them the truth. He explained that Cassidy was his ex-girlfriend who had been showing up uninvited for weeks. He described how she punched him minutes ago after he refused to reconcile. He pointed to his swelling cheek as evidence. Cassidy immediately denied everything. She raised her voice and insisted Trevor was the aggressor. She told the officers she felt threatened and unsafe.
Trevor remained calm despite Cassidy's accusations. He looked at both officers and said 4 simple words that changed everything. "I have it on camera." Cassidy's face went blank. The confidence drained from her expression in an instant. She had no idea about the security system. Trevor pulled out his phone and opened the app connected to his cameras. Within seconds, he had the footage queued up from 30 minutes earlier. The officers watched the screen carefully. The video showed everything in clear detail. Cassidy arriving uninvited, Trevor meeting her outside, their conversation in the driveway, Cassidy becoming increasingly agitated, and finally the moment she stepped forward and punched Trevor directly in the face. There was no grabbing, no aggression from Trevor, no provocation, just an unprovoked assault captured in high definition with audio. The female officer looked at Cassidy with disappointment. The younger officer closed his notepad and reached for his handcuffs. Cassidy tried to backtrack immediately. She stammered that she didn't mean to hit him that hard. She claimed she was emotional and not thinking clearly. She begged the officers to understand her side. But the evidence didn't lie. The officers informed Cassidy she was under arrest for assault. They read her rights as they placed her in handcuffs. She cried and protested as they walked her to the patrol car. Trevor watched silently, feeling a mix of relief and sadness. Within days, Cassidy was formally charged. Trevor obtained a restraining order that prohibited her from coming within 500 feet of him or his property. The court case moved quickly thanks to the video evidence.
Cassidy received 6 months of probation, mandatory anger management classes, and over $8,000 in fines and legal fees. The footage somehow made its way online, and within a week, thousands of people had seen Cassidy's lies unravel in real time. Her friends and family saw it. Her co-workers saw it. Strangers commented on her behavior and dishonesty. The humiliation was complete. Trevor finally had his peace back. He could come home without fear. He could live without looking over his shoulder. Installing those cameras had saved him from becoming another victim of false accusations. Do you think Cassidy got what she deserved? Or should the consequences have been harsher? What would you have done in Trevor's position? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. We'll see you in the next one.